This presentation reviews how hospitals can apply a medical device software bill of materials to improve risk management and operations around medical device security to reduce the risks of information exposure and patient harm. Hospitals lack necessary data on software components in the medical devices they purchase and operate to reduce the risks of protected health information exposure and patient harm. Currently, even larger hospital systems are not familiar with the concept of software bill of materials and may not have the expertise on how to collect, manage, and act on this information. The concept of a software bill of materials comes from manufacturing, where a bill of materials is an inventory detailing all the items included in a product. For example, for an automaker, if a defective part is discovered, the manufacturer can know exactly what vehicles are affected and take action to repair or replace it. Software bill of materials, or SBOM, would use these supply chain concepts and apply them to software. An SBOM listing would include an inventory of proprietary, open source, and third-party software to improve the reliability and security of these components. A software bill of materials provides a way to evaluate the reliability of suppliers and components, as well as tabulate the number and severity of known software vulnerabilities. An example of a software bill of materials table is shown as Figure 1. The FDA is exploring requiring the medical device industry to submit a software bill of materials as part of its review process before a device is allowed for sale. This is to ensure medical devices are resilient to cybersecurity threats. Cybersecurity attacks have rendered medical devices and hospital networks inoperable and disrupted the delivery of patient care. This has the potential to delay diagnoses and treatment and lead to patient harm. The risk of patient harm is particularly worrisome in cases of implantable medical devices. Vulnerabilities could be used to control the implanted devices or intercept data, such as protected health information. The healthcare industry has been one of the most targeted industries in the US for years, and this trend is likely to continue. The average number of medical devices per hospital bed is 10 to 15 devices. Thus, a 500-bed hospital could have up to 7,500 devices, and most will be connected to the facility's network. This number is likely to grow as technology improves. By developing an ability to use software bill of materials information and execute applicable use cases, hospitals reduce the risk of medical devices exposing protected health information or causing patient harm. Use case guidance is needed for hospitals to learn how to apply software bill of materials information. Guidance on best practices for software bill of materials data would aggregate lessons from industry stakeholders to help hospitals learn to replicate these actions to achieve similar results. This would encourage the adoption of software bill of materials by lowering the learning curve for hospitals to get started with and use software bill of materials data. To create this guidance, government agency reports were reviewed from the National Telecommunications and Information Administration working groups developing software bill of materials standards. These working groups are developing the specifications of the standards, documenting use cases, and assessing available formats for creating software bill of materials. In addition, an NTIA case study trialing software bill of materials concepts with leading device manufacturers and hospitals was consulted. This allowed device maker and hospital viewpoints to be considered for the solution. Software bill of materials guidance should focus on software components in medical devices, including data on relationships between components, on component suppliers, and component version. Guidance should also promote the use of standard formats and tools, which lowers costs and promotes industry adoption. These formats should be machine-readable, making it easier to produce software bill of materials and have them automatically retrieved and analyzed. The guidance should include detailed use cases on consumption, procurement, and asset management. Consumption use cases provide detail on how to process and analyze software bill of materials data. This would focus on the use of industry-agnostic formats for software bill of materials delivery and use. Using standard formats allows for easier identification of software components and automated analysis. Two existing formats were found to be scalable across industries and use cases: Software Package Data Exchange (SPDX) and Software Identification Tags (SWID). Both are commonly used and are widely supported by existing tools. This helps to lower the cost of producing and delivering software bill of materials data. Procurement use cases include identifying known vulnerabilities in components, completing a risk analysis, and planning compensating controls before a device is purchased. The decision of which device to purchase is an important, long-lasting commitment. Hospitals need to know what they are committing to concerning the security and quality of a device, which can cost millions and be in service for years. Procurement software bill of materials analysis involves correlating software components with the National Vulnerability Database or similar database to identify known vulnerabilities in a device's components. Hospitals can use this information to conduct a risk analysis to understand possible conflicts and how a new device's components may affect the existing network environment. A hospital can decide to treat higher-risk devices differently with security controls. Asset management use case guidance includes monitoring a hospital's medical device inventory against new vulnerabilities as they emerge. Updating software bill of materials data when a medical device's software is changed is important to keeping the device secure over its lifetime. An up-to-date software bill of materials listing allows a hospital to more quickly identify if the vulnerability is associated with any software components in its devices and know if those components are active on its systems. If one is found, the hospital can identify the level of risk and decide on appropriate actions. Hospitals can utilize the National Vulnerability Database, along with the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, to score and prioritize newly discovered vulnerabilities and take action to reduce the risk of the exploitation of a medical device. An example component vulnerability listing is shown in Figure 2. This awareness of the risks of a vulnerable device component allows hospitals to mitigate the issue independently of the device maker, as it can take some time for the device manufacturer to create and issue patches for the device. Areas for further research include universal software component identifiers, a defined audit or validation process for software bill of materials data, and government agency involvement in systemic risk analysis. Universal software component identifiers would be used as a unique identifier key for each software component or subcomponent. This key would not change over time or require a central issuing authority. This enables the automatic correlation of software components between multiple tools, systems, or databases. The absence of a defined audit or validation process means software bill of materials data provided to hospitals would have to be accepted as is, with no process to confirm the accuracy or completeness of the information provided. In a world where software bill of materials information is available, industry, regulators, or other government agencies could use this data to perform a systemic risk analysis on the healthcare industry. Common flaws could be found across the industry. When new vulnerable software components are discovered, these agencies could identify which medical devices are affected and advise hospitals. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this look at software bill of materials and their application to medical devices.